Hey guys, how's it going? CoderMan here. In today's video, I have the M3 back. It's had the rod bearings done. It's had some other things done. So I want to go over that, go over the cost, go over why I did it, and really just kind of bring it back into the channel because it's finally back in my hands and I can drive it without issue. So let's go ahead and get into today's video. And just ignore the project we're doing in the backyard, but there you can see is the M3 and it's back in my hands and it actually runs. So I'm not sure how easy it is to tell just from looking in here, but the engine is much higher, and the reason for that is because I had the motor mounts done when they did the rod bearings. I also had the brake rotors all around, all four. Man, these wheels are dirty. Definitely gotta clean these wheels. So I actually have the rod bearings in the trunk. So here's the rod bearings in all their glory. Let's go ahead back into the garage and I'll show you the wear that's on them and why it's a very good idea that I did this. So as you probably can see in the garage, we're going through a massive spring cleaning. So I have no space to actually show these. So I'm actually going to show them on the trash can, which I guess is fitting because they're now technically trash. So there they are. You can see a lot of wear right on them. So the ones in particular that I think caused the bad oil reading is this guy right here. So you can see right here, it's all worn, and then you can start to see the copper right here. You can also see that it's basically worn all through. So this one was bad. This one's not too bad. I actually have a picture I'll put up that showed the proper order of these, but they're all just in a bag right now. So this one wasn't too bad, but you can see that every single one of them has some form of wear. This one's starting to get down to the copper, you can see it. Pretty much every single one of these caps, they're in pairs, and every single one of them has some form of wear. Then you can see here's another one that it's, right here, it's extremely worn. So I would say out of the bunch, this one here is probably the one that gave the result in the oil test. And you can, like you said, you can see the copper right on there. And basically what ends up happening as these are spinning, they're essentially rubbing up against and they're shaving. And those metal files and the copper and the lead end up going into your oil pan, end up going into your oil, which ultimately ends up in your oil pan. When you drain your oil, it comes up in the report if you do it with Blackstone. So here's another one. I don't know if I showed this one or not, but you can see, so these two here in particular are worn the most. And then you can also start to see on the edges, you'll see a lot of wearing. And this is where, from my research, I'm not an engine expert, but this is right here. This is where it starts to be a problem, because what ends up happening is it shaves this part off right here, and it ends up, if I can visualize it, obviously this isn't perfect science, but they sit like this. And what ends up happening is they start to wear, they get deformed, and they can do that. And of course, when that happens, you spin it and you blow the engine. So fortunately for me, that did not happen. As you can tell, these are out of the car. The car has the correct ones. They're better tolerance. For those curious, I went with VAC and ARP bolts. Yeah, you spend a pretty penny on the ARP bolts. I think they're like about $800 or $900. But at the end of the day, this is an expensive engine to replace. They don't make them anymore, so you have to find a used one. So basically, spend the money and get it done. That's basically what I ended up having done. It cost a pretty penny with the brakes and a couple of the things that I had done. It came under just under $3,000. I'm actually going to be making a video pretty soon on the 5-year cost of ownership for the M3. And the amount of money that I spent on this car is quite astounding. Even when it had a warranty, I still spent a pretty good amount of money. So, if you're thinking of buying an M3, that'll probably help you determine if it's something you want to do. But at the end of the day, this is something important that I had to do. It's peace of mind. If I want to do a supercharger, or even if I just want to drive the car, it has 80,000 miles. And, if I want to put another 80 or 100,000 miles on it, I know that at least that part of the engine is solid. The main bearings can go, but it's a lot less frequent. And it's also a lot more expensive to actually have that work done. So I opted not to do that. It's also in a different part of the engine, so it would have been a completely different teardown, and just probably, I think it would have been about $5,000 to have that done. So, you know, they don't fail as often. They do have the same tolerance issues, but they're bigger, so I don't know, maybe they just take longer to fail. So yeah, so there's the infamous rod bearings that everyone seems to have issues with, or, you know, some people say that you shouldn't do them, it's a waste of money. Other people say you should. Me personally, when I get a bad oil report, I say, hey, you know what the hell, it's, you know, it is money, but it's important because I want to keep the car and I want to keep it running. So that's the latest on the M3. I have a couple more pieces coming in for some interior parts. You know, I've been kind of replacing those, updating the interior. I'm going to send it for a detail now that it's back from the shop, get it all cleaned up for the summer. I'm still on the lookout for wheels. I haven't found anything. I was going with some actually gloss black and then some matte black. I don't think that's really going to work out. Now I'm actually looking at some bronze options from VMR. So as of right now, I'm still doing the OEM wheels. You know, maybe I'll keep them. You know, maybe I'll just have them refinished, or maybe I'll buy another set. You know, I do like the look of them. You know, as you can tell, it looks, you know, it looks really modern and clean, elegant, easy to clean. So hey, you know, why not? If you guys have any questions on the rod bearings, I'm definitely not the expert on it, but definitely leave a comment below. I know a bunch of people that do the work. I know a bunch of independent people that have done the work themselves. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them however I can. If you haven't seen my previous video where my wife and I bought a rental property, definitely hit the card up above, check it out. For those who have commented, I really appreciate the support. A bunch of people sent me messages. You know, it's a really cool thing. We're hoping to do a lot more of it. And of course, there'll be more content on that for those that are interested. Right now, it is pending rental. We have somebody we've picked, and we're just going through the process of making sure they're going to work out. So hopefully in the next week or so, it'll be rented and we can save up and move on to our next one. So as always, I appreciate you guys checking out this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell. I know it's cliche, but you guys don't see my content if you don't hit the bell. So if you want to see my content, go ahead and do that. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.